Alright, 270 family, welcome back to another stream with Brendan Borman. Today, I'll be playing as George W. Bush, and my opponent, Jason Elmore, will be playing as Barack Obama, and he does have Hillary as a vice president, so this will be interesting, so I really have to be careful. He has a positive bonus in African American export and women's movement. So I don't know right off the bat if Jason is going to go into women's movement. I did send him a couple questions via Facebook Messenger, almost like an interview style, so I can kind of talk about him and the game as we go along here. So I'll be going turn by turn. I am George W. Bush. He is a balanced candidate. He doesn't have a really high bonus in any of the particular categories, but he doesn't really have any penalties either. So it's going to be really interesting. I really have to be super protective of against African American, against Barack Obama. And while I'm waiting on Jason here, Jason, I don't think I've ever played him before. Seems like a nice guy on the Facebook page. He is the pride of Sugarland, Texas. So I, of course, resided in Missouri. So two fellow Americans going head to head, a Republican versus a Democrat. And I'm just going to go ahead and spin up in New York. Again, he might be expecting this, but he did not. He went into women's movement. Okay. So he's going to utilize that national bonus. But if you did watch my video on how I like to beat Obama, I really would rather him not go in New York and have New York. So do I try to get the town and gown bonus? I will not have a really high... Yeah, I don't have any bonus with town and gown, so I think the base level is 75,000 per turn, which should be pretty comparable to what he'll get as a bonus for the women's movement. Okay, so yeah, he did give me permission to kind of talk about his experience with the game. I hope this video can maybe give him some insight afterwards, win or lose. He did say that I asked him a couple questions. For example, how long has he been playing? How many times a week does he play? He says he's only been playing the game for a few months. And one thing that he wishes he could change about the game is that we could have a messaging system within the game. So it's nice that we have this lounge where we can communicate. And I understand why 270 is hesitant to really open that up for the public, because there could be some harassment, especially when you have a Republican candidate facing a Democratic candidate. There's already enough of that goes on in the lounge. But I play several games that have emoji icons or different ways where you can communicate in a way that brings kind of more fun into the game, but it's not necessarily a personal attack or profanity or anything like that. So we will see what Jason decides to counter with. Like I said, I assume it would be to finish out the movement, get that bonus. He's going to Ohio, Pennsylvania, which could be setting up a Florida. He did open up youth vote as well as finish out the women's movement. So I did give him 51.6K per turn. If he is able to finish out Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida, that would get him the swing state bonus. So I can't mess around too much. I have to go ahead and get the town and gown bonus. Now, what else do I decide to do? Do I preemptively attack him in any of these states? I don't think so. He already has the money advantage. He's going to probably spend 150 in youth vote to make sure he gets at this turn, which leaves him less than 200. So he could go just a single 100 in Florida. I think I like that just in case we clash. And also, if he wants to spend 2 in Florida, he won't get his youth vote this turn. So he doesn't go in Florida. And really, his manufacturing bonus, he's one of the Democratic candidates that's Barack that does not have a high manufacturing bonus. So if he does go into Texas with those states, to me that's more of a swing state attack. Okay, so I have my town and gown, which I like to use in states like Arizona, Iowa, New Hampshire that are also swing states. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to that money and I'm not going to spend it because I really don't have a reason to. I'm in Florida. That's enough for me at the moment. I would like to get possibly the Old South. But I don't want to spend too much money. So maybe going into North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Louisiana. If I get that uncontested, that would give me the Old South bonus. It would also, if I was able to keep New York and or Florida, that would get me really close, if not possibly with Arizona so I wouldn't need all those states. Let's see. No, that would actually get me African American if I had Florida, but I really assume he's going to try to take me in Florida. And that's okay. If he spends 200 in Florida, he risks a clash. He could invest in more of the swing states. Okay, looks like he's going into the manufacturing. And he's opened up another national group. Okay, so he's going full hog on the national groups. So, wow. Okay, so he did get youth vote. It's only 30, but he's soon to have the labor and environment. But while he does not have that, I'm going to go ahead and take the Old South. And I kind of wish I'd gone into Arizona, but it's not too late for that. I'm actually going to open up these states as well. Anything else I see? Okay. So I asked Jason if he had a favorite candidate. He did not give me any names, but he is playing as Obama. Obama is probably considered to be one of the most powerful candidates in the game. However, he's not unbeatable. And so really understanding how the game works, the state bonuses, the national bonuses, triggering a ballot. If you're new to this game and you are constantly being beat by other players, don't be discouraged. I used to suck. I think my first 100 games, I won a combined maybe 20 games or so. And so really when you play and you find out different strategies of what players are doing, you can kind of model your game after those moves. Now, every game is different. Once one move has been played, the dynamics of everything shift dramatically. So don't get locked into one individual strategy. However, understanding and sometimes the math or just certain paths to get certain state groups may look, games may look very similar. So I'm actually not far off from the high-tech bonus. I'm going to leave Michigan alone for the time being. Okay, so he does go into California, which is a valuable state. It has 55 electoral votes, but really where he is in the game, that doesn't help him too much, just because he's going to have to spend another turn. I got the African American bonus, the swing state bonus. I'm going to get the high-tech bonus next turn. And he's still not in any of my states. So one of the biggest pieces of advice I would give him is to not be afraid to pressure me in a few of these states that, like a Virginia, like a North Carolina. I mean, I pressured him in Pennsylvania. He has yet to spend any money, which maybe he wasn't worried about me spending money, or he was just so dead set in getting the national groups that he wanted to do that to have that big bonus. So I'm going to go ahead and go in Illinois, and then I'm going to enter into Texas, save a little bit of my bonus. Again, he's not in any of my states at the moment, so I'm just going to save a lot of my bonus money that I could use for defense or to attack him in an Ohio or a Pennsylvania. So there goes 200 in California. Did he also go 200 in Texas? No, he did not. He won 150 in New York. Okay, so that is a good state to pressure me in because it would give him the high-tech bonus with the combination of California. However, I have high-tech, I have African American, and I have town and gown. So just those states in defense of New York, that's 275 per turn. If I just committed that to New York and he spent all of his money, he would not ever catch me. So he can go 2 rungs in New York. So I'm just going to let him chase me if he wants. And then I'm going to spend up some of my Old South money just to build up my electoral count. I don't think he's going to forfeit this round, but sometimes when you're playing against people in the lounge, when you're not set up the game, this would be a point where you'd have to consider that. Get my oil ready. Okay, so he just sent me a message. He said, "Awesome playing. You're a machine." I appreciate the compliment, Jason. I'm guessing that you try to go for specific states. Like when I play Risk, the board game Risk, I go for Australia every time. So that's a very interesting dynamic. I compare 270 to Risk a lot in the sense where you're capturing states, territories. You're battling over the same thing, but it's a lot like poker also, where you have to bluff and go all in. And that he did. Where did he spend money? He tied me in New York, so he can actually go 3 in New York. So I'll play around with him just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the oil. Or no, I can't finish up the oil. I don't have enough for Texas, but I'm going to finish up these states just because that'll give me oil eventually. No, I'm not going to do that. That's dumb. I'm going to... I'll do this actually. So if he wants to steal Pennsylvania back, he can have it. I'm assuming he spent $450 in New York. So we clashed there. So I wouldn't feel any hard feelings if he forfeited at this point. That's kind of an all-in move for him, but that's totally up to him. I'm just going to enter in as many states as possible here. I would like Latino bonus, though. Forgot to go into Wisconsin, ever. Let's try to steal Ohio. Okay. So he's still going at it. We'll see what he does here. Mad respect just for continuing on. I know this game is over, but for a new player, this could be valuable. So he did go into Texas, it looks like. This will be interesting if he can get Texas and California. So he can only spend... He doesn't have any bonus money. He has his national groups. So I did get Latino and export that turn. He would need to go 200 here. I can't do anything about that. So this is interesting. Okay, so he's got 194 on top of... So I'm just going to go a couple ahead. 180. Okay. So I'm going to give him that combination. I'm going to go in the rest of these states. We're not close to a ballot at all because we're not. 0 states have been filled, and so this is definitely a different type of game. When we have every single state filled and yet nothing completely filled all the way, or all the states entered, I should say. So yeah, I don't want him to get any other bonuses. Now he will get a few bonuses, just be affiliated with. He'll get oil, which is his least bonus. But yeah, let's see how this turns out. This will be kind of fun. Let's save a little bud money. And I hope we didn't lose him. There we go. As I say, he did the hard part. He got Texas, so he didn't spend the other money. Okay. So you get the oil, and gas and the agriculture bonus. I did get the manufacturing bonus. I'd like to spend my African American money there. So if it's going to take okay. So I have all this bonus money. What bonuses do I not? All the bonuses are in play. So I have them all. I still think I could let him have New York and probably win, but there's not a chance I'm going to let that happen. And although we don't have any electorals finished yet, probably by turn 14 or turn 15 we'll have a ballot, I would assume. So he's going to attack me in Florida, which is very smart. Spend some agriculture money. Kansas turned blue. He's attacking me. some town and gown. Then shout out to Montana, the only state in the game that does not have a state bonus attached to it. Which means he did not go in New York, but this map is starting to look a lot more respectable. So shout out to Jason. Because the little states matter too. It's not just about the big states. And like, take he just flipped Tennessee. That's 11. That's a 22-point swing whenever you take 11 from me and give 11 to him. Definitely a good move. Okay, so I don't want to give him Florida. I think he can only go 3, but I've got all the swing state money, so I'll spend it just in case. I'm gonna go ahead and seal up Illinois. Ohio, and Pennsylvania just to get us closer to the end of the game, because that obviously benefits me. And then what I might also do is some of the states I just have one. I'm going to invest another one, maybe prevent him from going into that state. If he wants West Virginia, he can have it. So again, assuming we finish off Illinois, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, that is 58 electorals that are closed off. So only 42 more to have a ballot. He did attack me in some of those town and gown states. That's funny. He did not defend in California, which basically, I mean, he has to play offense when you're behind like that. But with my high-tech bonus, and he pretty much have to use his devote one whole turn for defense in order to keep it this turn, just because of my Latino, my high-tech, my export, and even then I can just take it outright. So I might risk losing Florida. I don't know if he can go. I think we probably would tie. Okay, so we're not getting anywhere closer to a ballot. Gonna see if there's a way I could get a few more, but once I finish off Florida next turn, that'd be 29, and then I could definitely have a ballot after next turn. Although it's very likely he just concedes once I steal California. So he's attacking me in a lot of states. That's okay. You got to do that. Here comes North Carolina, Nevada, New Mexico. Inching closer in New York. But a little bit too late for that. Okay, so he did enter a lot of my states. Just to get that over. He can't, let's see, he doesn't have any bonuses, so he could actually spend 3 there. I'm going to try to take Texas just for fun. And then maybe a lot of these states, maybe not those states, but some of these smaller ones he's less likely to defend. Just stealing a couple. Okay. Now again, I could have forced a ballot by taking Florida and a few more, but again, so he does steal Arizona. Props to him. The more money advantage you have, the longer the game you want to go. So, I'm spending 1.43 million. He's only spending 444,000. That's a huge advantage for me. Although he is flipping some states here, I bet you he's going to be mighty surprised when Texas comes along. But that's okay. He's doing a great job flipping some states. We did get the oil and gas bonus. We should probably put him out of his misery. But some of these states he stole from me, I want to steal back. Just because I'm that kind of person. I have to have Missouri because that's my state, so. I'll let him have Kentucky. Starting to catch on. So one piece of advice, Jason, you do attack people by one a lot, which that's really good because it's efficient. However, once in a while you might change it up and go two ahead, just because if you do the same thing over and over again, it does become predictable. It's like right here in Georgia, I bet you might have gone one ahead. Yep. So a state that's 16 electoral votes. Now, again, it's not close of a matchup, but just to give you some advice, it's always a constant chess battle. You don't want your opponent to, really know what you're thinking, and that's why you were asking me earlier about do you pick specific states. Yes and no. I have a general game plan, but you have to really adapt, especially if your opponent goes for the same thing that you would like. Ah, darn, got Nebraska back. Trading back and forth. We are going to have a ballot, thankfully. So this is the last turn. See if we can stay one ahead of him in a lot of these states. Just for pride, if I were him, I would finish off some of the states that I'm already leading in. That way I couldn't steal them, but that's just kind of how I play sometimes. Let's go two in Georgia this time. Okay, and then I have to try to steal some of these, right? That's all. Ooh. Georgia on my mind. Actually, could he take Texas back? He could. Ooh, that's risky. If I'm going for a perfect game here, I'd say it's unlikely. And I kind of hope for his sake I don't get it, because give him Texas. Did he do it? I think he did it. Come on. Come on, Texas. There's something satisfying also ending up with exactly 500 if he gets the 38 from Texas. QRSTT, Tennessee, Texas. He did it. Congrats, man. Way to hang in there tough. Texas goes blue. I know a lot of Biden people out there thinking that's possibly a thing in 2020, but for my man Jason, shout out to you spending some quality time here playing some 270 on the channel. I hope you enjoy some of my other content that I'm going to put out there, but if you're ever up for a game, just let me know. I can give you some feedback, or if you don't want the feedback, just tell me and we can just play. I'm not claiming to be the world's best 270 player, but I do enjoy playing, and I have beaten some high-quality players before. So anyway, thank you so much for playing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.